Okay, it's live now. So
Perfect. Yeah.
I let people join.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's live now. So
Perfect. Yeah.
we have just 22 viewers with us right now. We'll wait till 50 and then we will start.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in meantime, I'll just quickly set up the screen so that
Yes.
it's easy for everyone to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, today webinar is going to be in English only, and we will be covering some part in Hindi as well from the audience demand. Yes, you can ask the question, Keshav, if it is from previous session of Shopify.
Okay.
Guys, please share this link to your timeline so that everyone can join and we can start. Uh, Guys, ask the question at the end. We will take all the question at the end today.
We would be covering dropshipping orders management and all the other things in the today's webinar itself. We got 40. Do share the video on your timeline so that we could start the webinar as early as possible. Yes, you can ask the question, Keshav, if it is from previous session of Shopify.
So Ashish, just let me know like when you will be sharing the screen everything. So I'm set at my end.
51 plus, you can start the session, I think.
We can start the webinar now. So,
So how to start the recording means you'll be giving the access to me or how it is?
no recording will be done automatically since it is on YouTube itself.
So how to start sharing my screen? Okay. Is it
Then
screen share?
screen share, and you just need to press that and click on present everywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
I have done present to everyone. Just share your screen.
Okay. Okay. All right. So hello everyone. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
And are you all able to see my screen? If you can just quickly tell me, so then we'll start.
Yes, yes, yes. Screen
Yes,
is
yes,
visible.
yes.
Perfect. Okay. Uh, just a moment. I think yeah. Okay. So once again, welcome back. And I think I'm today. You'll have something amazing takeaway from here for sure, because what are we going to talk about is on how to set up the store. So we are not going to get into the nitty gritty of doing everything manually, but I'll be sure giving you the framework, the exact framework which has really helped me to like do whatever I have been doing it. So to start with, like whenever you think of starting, a Shopify store, in fact, I've been getting a lot of requests since last time when what we spoke, that what should I be doing it and how should I be doing it. Now, there are two important things which you need to keep in mind whenever you plan to start your Shopify store. And these two things are the only thing which will help you to achieve the success. First, step one is you need to know your product very well. What product are you selling? Second is you need to know your customers very well. And this is exactly two things what we'll be talking about in today's session. And then we'll be covering a lot of other aspects on how to do the research, how to identify what ad copies to be written, how to do the audience research and everything. We'll be covering that also. So to start with, this is the first step what I always do, right? And this is again, like useful for anything which you do. Now, the first step what I do is I go on to Facebook, I type interest. Now, if you look at these things here, just give me a second. I think something weird has happened. I'll just go and type back again. Interest. That's weird. I did in the morning and okay. Where's that gone? Okay. Let's see this one because I think they've changed this interface and I don't know because in the morning I was looking at it and it used to show the list of interest here itself and where it has gone. Just give me a moment, please, guys. I'm sorry for this because I think this is something I'm really not able to understand why this has happened now. Because in the morning, when I was looking at it, it was there. Oopsie. Okay. Anyways, let's continue with this. I'll come to this in a while. I'm just looking into this, that why this has happened, because the moment when you go and type here interest,
Ah, Neerav, are you speaking? I think the you are not audible.
Yes, sound is coming for us.
hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Nirav, you are audible now.
Okay. So from where did you miss me? So then according to, I'll start from there.
You start from beginning.
Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, see, the first step is, you have to go onto Facebook. And I don't know, today Facebook is working a little bit weird, because if you look at this one here, if you type interest, it shows you the list of all the popular interest here. But I don't know whether it's the latest update from Facebook or what, because in the morning when I did, it was showing me here. But apparently right now it is not showing. So I'll get back to on this part. I'll definitely get back to you on alternate solution. But then there's a second step which I generally do is I go on to this site which is called as watchcount.com, and here you have this option of keywords where you can type your keywords, and then US, UK. So these are all the countries here. So generally when what I do here is the country where I'm planning to sell, I'll be selecting that country first, and then I'll type in the keyword in in the product what I'm interested to sell. So let's say, for example, what I have done here, I've taken a reference of as something called as dog necklace, right? So what I will do is I'll be going through all these options here to understand what kind of products are being popularly sold in in the US market. Now, just a disclaimer and a caution, what I would recommend everyone is just never go and blindly follow that this product. Let's say, for example, oh, this product is being sold 1,000 times. Let me take this and start selling it. Never do that, because the moment when you do that, you won't be able to sell that because people have already seen this product. However, what I would do is I would go through it and see like what is popular within dog necklace. So if you look at this one, so first one here is there's something called as a vintage charm cross necklace. Then you have this personalized custom photo dog necklace, right? Then you have army military necklace. So I'm looking at different types of necklaces which are popular. Now, once I get this idea, so what I would be doing is I'll open up an Excel sheet and I'll start taking up all these ideas just to have a reference of my research. So the first one is here. I'll just put it this way so it is easy for everyone to see. Okay, the first one is charm necklace. Then personalized dog necklace. So on and so forth. I'll be making a list of all these things here just to understand that what is popular. Now, once I get this list, the second step, what I'll do is I'll go on to Pinterest.com and I'll go and type here dog necklace. Now, by the way, there's one more important thing which I wanted to tell you here is I'll be recommending you a couple of tools which are free as well as paid. But then a disclaimer that those are pure recommendation. There is nothing I'm going to give you as my affiliate link. You can directly go and buy. I'm going to show you the difference between the paid as well as free option so that you can take a decision on which one you want to use. Now, the moment when I type here on Pinterest, what happens? It will randomly show me all the products. So if you look at this one, it is showing me all random products. Means in terms of there is nothing called as sorted out. Now there are two tools which I would recommend or two Chrome extension. The first one is this one, which is called as Pinterest Sort. Now this is the free tool which is available, free Chrome extension. There is nothing you have to pay for this. The other one is called as Shopify app. Now the Shopify app has free as well as paid option. So the functionality what I'm going to show you now, it will be still covering up or working for you based even on the free Chrome extension. So what I'm doing now, see, like once you have typed in the result here, like a dog necklace, all the results gets popped up. After that, you go here, click on, I'm doing auto load 10 pages. I'll say repin, and then I'm doing sorting. So what does this tool do? It will sort out all the results based on number of repins. Now, the reason why I'm taking repins as a reference point because that is what people are looking for, and that is the one which is popular because that's the reason why people are repinning it more. Yeah. So just give me like 30 seconds or so. I think this should get sorted out. I think, yeah, it's done. Okay. So what I'm looking at is the results. You have this hot dog, Dachshund, that's a dog brand, breed. So then you have this paw and this one. So if you look at this one, see like this example where we had this 4.4K. And if you look at this example here, there's one more necklace on the similar lines, which was being sold. So if you look at this one, see this is 241. Plus, you look at this one, see engraved ones, engraved necklace. Again, the personalized one. Now, if you look at this one, see this is again a personalized one as well, where you have your dog name written. So this gives me an idea of what kind of products are being sold or popular in this market in the dog niche. Now, the reason I've taken a dog niche is because one of the things is this niche is quite popular in the US market, and it is also like quite saturated. So just wanted to show you an idea, like even in the saturated market, how can you get into this thing in terms of how you can identify the products and do the research for this, right? Once I get all this information, the third important site where I go and I see is this one. Etsy.com. And this is where I would recommend everyone to go and do the research, because this site is quite popular again in the US market, and it really gives you a lot of information in terms of what is working, what people are buying. So this is one of the most preferred site after Amazon.com. Now, do you see this example here? Same type of example. One, two, and again you have this one here is three, right? So this gives me an idea in terms of what kind of things people are looking for. So now if I go and see this results also, so they are looking for a personalized one, something with some motivational, that all you need is a love and a doodle. Again, a personalized one, again with the dog. So this shows that what kind of things people are buying in this particular niche of dog. So this gives me a lot of ideas in terms of what's going on here, like what are the things available, what is popular, what can work, right? Now, once I make all these links, so for sure, like see, like what I'll be doing is I'll be taking this as an example so that I can show you what you can do. So I'll just copy this name and I'll go and just put it here, which already I have done that before also. Once I know my products, that what products are working, what is happening, I'll now go on to AliExpress, because this is a site from where generally you will be buying it. I'll put my product here and see what is coming up. So see, there's already a buyer a seller who is ready to sell similar kind of product here. Now, what we need to look for is two things on this one. First of all, these products are all, they should have an e-packet option available. Now, this particular tool, what I was talking about, Shopify app, the paid one, helps you to understand a lot of things. Like say, it helps you to sort out the results based on your enable e-packet, processing time, hide products without e-packet. So if the products are not available based on e-packet, it will hide the product. So this really helps you to understand a lot of things. Now see, for example, if you look at this one, this is grayed out. That means there is no e-packet available here. So I can just go and ignore that. Now, once I'm here, what I would do is I will first go and sort out based on the number of orders. So this gives me an idea like what kind of things are popular on AliExpress which has been sold. So if you look at this one, see, like we saw one example with a customized logo. So you can ask for, like just give them a name, they'll print it and they'll send it to you. Now the price is, see, $4.55. Then you have this one, personalized one. So again, you can print the photo with the name and everything on the back side. Oops. Plus, see again this one, your name and the telephone number. So this could be an example for, like dog necklace, where you are giving an option where they can print the name and telephone number and they can make them wear. So these are the different types of products and ideas which I get it from here. Once I make a list of this, then what I do is I also start shortlisting my vendors. So one of the things which you should always consider is this thing, the reputation of the vendor. So these are the vendors which are diamond vendors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are five diamond vendors. So there is a rating of 5 diamond. This is medal. So avoid working with medals because they are pretty new in the market, and the chances are that you may see something which you may see a product which they may not be delivering, and that may you may end up in issues like refunding it to your products, refunding the money to your customers, and that might add up to some negative reputation. So avoid working with these vendors. So what I would do is first I would sort out and see what are the products being popularly sold. Second, you can go here and you can sort based on the seller ratings. So what you will see here are all the sellers who are above, like say diamond. These are the ones which are best ones. Crown, right? So see, here you have this option of this. This is a crown vendor. So perhaps like you can start working with him. Now if you look at this product, see what's the price of this product. $1 for the personalized one. And if you look at this product cost here, just to give you an idea, see the same product, similar product is easily sold in $29. So this is one of the ways where you can start doing a research and understand what kind of products you can start sourcing it from AliExpress. Now you have this one also, like where you have this poodle stainless steel dog. So it's a specific brand. Again, like you can start selling this also. Even it's a good price where it is at $12, but still you can sell it at $29. It's a huge margin on that. So this is the way. What you do is you start identifying your products and your vendors. Once you have done this, then the second step, the third step, what I would do is I'll go onto this site that is called as nicheminer.co. This is again a free site which you can use because this is one of the important tools which I generally use day in day out. Now all you need to do is you need to connect your Facebook with Niche Miner, and I'll type my keyword that was a dog necklace personalized one, right? And then see these are the options you have. So just pay shipping, only pay shipping, free shipping, get yours here, get yours now, claim here. So these are the words which advertisers are using in their ad copies. So you can start targeting those things to understand what is happening. So now let's look at this example, that is free shipping. Let's see what are the results coming up. So apparently there's only one thing which is not again relevant. So this could happen that you may not find the relevant one. So what I would do is I'll just go and put none, and I'll select. Yeah. So see, we just saw this example, the same product which is being sold here. So let's look at this website first. So it's called as Necklace Day. So this particular site is all about different necklaces. So what I'll do is I'll go and see all the products here. So first one is okay here. Now there's nothing, no engagement, nothing is being shared. So I would ignore this post. Now coming here again, see there's nothing, no engagement, no engagement. When I say engagement, what does it mean? Is not only likes, but how many people are commenting, how many people are sharing. That is very important to know because the more shares, more comments, higher is the weightage of your ads. Now, the reason why I give more focus or more weightage to engagement is because Facebook rewards you with low cost if your engagement is higher. Now, how Facebook gives priority to the engagement? The first priority is your comment and share. The second priority is your likes. So if you're having more likes or if you have more comments, in two scenarios, your comments, the ad which has more comments, more shares, you will have less cost on those ads compared to the ads which have more likes. So that's the reason why we should always look for the ads which has got more engagement. Now, if you look at this one, there is nothing much happening here. There is no engagement. Now, this means that this particular advertisers have not been spending money on ads for sure, because when we talk about huge engagement, those engagement only comes when you're running ads or something. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll change this. Let's see like what is happening inside dog necklace, because personalized we tried that, but there's nothing which is being which shows that it has a high engagement. Okay, now this is one of the good examples here. See, show some love to your best friend this Valentine's Day. This lovely sterling cat and dog necklace is a perfect tribute to the loyal furry friends in your life. Now here, if you look at this one, it has 1.9K, 17 comments, 87 shares. So what I'm looking for is a higher number of likes, shares, and comments. So that is good, but not so good in a way where you can say that it has got a good engagement. So I'll keep on scrolling down till I get see. Now this one has 131 shares, which is again a quite good number compared to the first one. Right. So here again you have this one where you have got 10 comments and 29 shares, which is not so good. I'll keep on scrolling. Okay, now this is something really attracts my attention, which is 209 comments, 284 shares. So what it is, let's see. Okay, so this is something like a gift box. Again, like nothing much here. Okay, nothing much, nothing here as well. Okay, now let's see this one really attracted my attention because page name is Dog Lovers. So what I would suggest that whenever you are doing this kind of research, if you find a specific product page or specific niche page, it is highly recommended that you go and see those pages also. So let me open this one here to show you what's happening. Right. So this is a dog lover page, which is specific page. Now here I would look at a couple of things before I actually go into this one. So again, see like there is only 10,976 likes. So I would ignore this one because this is not what I wanted. I'm looking for a huge number of likes if the page is specific to the niche. So let's scroll a little bit down so I can show you an example of, yeah, see this is the good example. You see this one? 1K likes, 982 comments, 263 shares. Now this is the numbers which really attracts my attention. So first thing, what I would do is I'll go and click on this. I'll see the product, what is they've talked about. So if you remember, see this is the one where they have written some names. So it's a matching necklace or a this thing. So dog has one. So this is matching necklace which you can look for an option for this. So see what kind of comments people are writing it here. All cool dog, all the cool dog kids. So they have given so many comments here. Now these comments are actually important to understand in terms of what is happening, right? So these are the languages which you need to understand. These are the languages which will help you to understand, right? People, like people, what people like, what your customer wants. So if you remember, I told you in the start that the customer needs and wants are important, and you need to really understand what are they looking for. Like if somebody has commented, why they have commented, right? And what is that they are looking for, because the difference what will which you will be bringing in is the same thing. Like if you do the same thing repeatedly what others are doing it, believe me, you will not be in a position to succeed because you are doing exactly the same thing, right? You are doing exactly the same thing. Now let me show you another example before we go into this thing, right? So let me open one site which is called as this one, Lenny Lemons. Now by the way, this is not my site, but this is one of the popular sites in the kids section which I have seen. Now, if you look at this website, they have done it in a quite in a untraditional way. What you will find, so see the kind of pictures what they've used, right? So it looks completely different, right? Now, see, look at this one, even the names. You look at the price. So everything what they have done here is completely different. However, these are the products which are still available from AliExpress. They're buying it from AliExpress and they're selling it. Now let me show you an example for that. Like what do I mean by telling that you need to be a different? See the kind of layout, that the copy what they have written. See, this is not a standard copy which you find on all the websites. They have taken that pain of writing this copy by themselves. The kind of images what they have put. So all this makes your site look different than others. Now this is the key for you in order to really succeed on making a good fortune for you when it comes to Shopify or any e-commerce thing, right? So far, any questions you have, like before we move into further into this thing? Now we are actually going to start about Facebook ads part. So before that, I just wanted to understand, like, do you have any questions? Any questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
I think there are some more questions. On the starting, there will be a question like uh,
You have no big questions now. You can go
how
Oh,
ahead.
drop how
okay.
dropship how dropshipping manages like orders are managed. This is the
Okay.
first question of Keshav Goyal.
Yeah, so those questions, like specific to drop shipping questions, what we'll do is we'll be taking up at the end of this thing.
Okay,
If you
okay.
have any specific questions regarding this product selections or something,
Hmm.
I would take it now. If not, then we'll take up all this drop shipping related questions at the end.
Okay, then you can
Yeah.
go continue it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is the tool. Like, are you all using this tool, like Facebook Audience Insight? If yes, great. If not, no problem, because I'm going to show you exactly how you should be using it. Now, this is very important tools in terms of researching on a lot of stuff, right? So the URL is facebook.com/ads/audience insight. So if you come here, the first step, what you need to do is you need to type in the location where you want to show your ads. So in this particular demo, again, I'm showing you United States, but you can do it in multiple countries. But then when you do this, always select one country at a time, because the moment when you put multiple countries together, the data will be skewed and you will not get the right information about what's happening there, right? So let's take an example here. Let's say I'll go and I'll type just dog, for example, just to take an idea. Now, when I look at this particular scenario, where it shows me all the demographic, and I'm sure that we all know what does demographic mean. However, let me give you my perception towards how I look at these numbers, and perhaps that will like really help you to understand what's happening. Now, first of all, like when you are selling some product, right? So if it is a low end product between $7 to $9 or $10, right? Then this audience is perfect. Even 18-year-old can buy a $7 or $9 product in the US. They don't require an permission from someone. They will be buying it from you. But if you're selling a high-end product, then always choose your audience wisely. So let's say, for example, when I look at these numbers, so between 25 to 34, 35 to 44, and 45 to 54, and 55 to 64. So this is the age group which I am looking for. Now, the question which I generally ask myself is why this age group have liked dogs, because that is very important to understand in terms of what's going to work for you. So let's say if I look at say 18 to 24, why would have they liked? So it's a hypothesis which I built up based on some research, and I'll show you exactly what I do it here. But before that, what I do is I'll go here, I'll see all these things. Then this is very important data here, that is lifestyle, country enthusiastic, country ways, country comfort. So if I click here, so it shows me a country singer is a group of successful singers who are family entrenched in their rural communities, upper middle income and no children, enable his group to save and spend on their personal interest. So this really helps me to understand my customer, like who are they, what are they doing it, and where are they right now. Plus it gives you an information about their status, education level, job title. So this is very important to understand in terms of are these customers going to buy from you when you sell the product. So this gives me a lot of insights. Now the second important tab, which I'll show you, is household and purchase. Now, by the way, these two options are only available when you are doing a research for the United States. For any other countries, as on today, this information is not given. So if I look at this one, so it gives me an idea of what kind of household income they have. So it is between 50 to 75K. They are house owners. The renters are very less compared to house owners. The market value, home market value, is in this range. Spending methods. So how are they spending money, right? So this is like a gold mine for me, right? And then purchases. What kind of purchases they are doing it? Retail. How much they're spending? What is their behavior? So the people who are buying and who are in dogs, what is their buying behavior? They spend money on pet products, household products, sports, health and beauty, home and garden, food and drink, so and so forth. So this gives me an idea of what is happening in this market, how many people are there, what are they liking. Once I get this overview, then I go on to the most important tab, and that is called as page likes. Right now, again here, I would tell everyone to use one Chrome extension, which is called as Facebook Audience Insight Plus. You can do a Google search on that. That is Facebook Audience Insight Plus. So this is a free Chrome extension, which will literally save a lot of your time, and I'll show you how it will save your time. So do you look on this one, the ones which are in the red color? So this are the ones which you cannot target on Facebook. Now this information will only come when you are using that particular extension, which is called as FB Audience Insight Plus. So this is like very important tool, because it saves a lot of your time, because now if I want to go and if I type this here, it will not show up in the interest list here, but because now I know it is red, I won't be doing it. Right now, coming to this data, let's say I've typed dogs as the interest. Now what I'm looking for is, say, like the audience on Facebook is around 50 million to 60 million people who have liked dogs. The interest is dogs. Now, the same people are the ones who have shown the interest in other things like dog bless you, I love my pit bull, oh my God, I love dogs, secured America now, nationwide pet. So all these are the interest which is around the interest what you have shown. Now, the important thing, what you need to keep in mind, and this is what, like a difference which will make a difference in your targeting when you run your Facebook ads. The moment when you are searching any interest here, let's say, for example, I've typed in here as interest as dogs. What I'm looking for is out of this total interest, what I'm seeing here, including those red ones also, are 70% and above, 70 to 80% and above, are those interests relevant to dogs? If yes, then I would take that this interest is relevant for me to go and target, because those people who are there who have shown the interest here are also passionate about dogs only. But then the criteria is 70 to 80% should be relevant to dogs. Now, just to give you an example, like the more specific you go, better is for you. So let's say, for example, dog necklace. Now you may not find a dog necklace as an interest, because let's see, because nobody is actually actively looking for a dog necklace. Let's look for something like say dog necklace. Let's see if it is there or not. So there's no interest for that. But let me see if there's something called as accessories. Yeah, dog accessories. Again, if you look at this, the numbers are quite small. So I would ignore this. I'll again go back and type dog. Yeah. So this is the first criteria for you to go and select. And the second criteria is that the interest which you have put here, that interest must have the page also, right? So if I look at this one, let's sort it by affinity. So there's no page for dogs. So in that case, I would not be targeting this particular interest, because even though there is 70% or relevance, but then I don't have a page which is relevant to that. So I would ignore that. However, from this particular list, I will start looking for something which is much more better in terms of what can I do. So let's look at a few of the examples here. So dog bless you. Again, this is a community. Then insurance pet, it's again, nationwide pet is again insurance, this one. But the one thing which really stood out for me is this one, retail and consumer merchandise, which says big lots. So first, let me go and see what is this. Okay, so they are not actually specifically selling something which is related to dogs. So I would ignore this, right? Then let me put, okay, let's take this one as I love my dog. I'll copy this. I'll go paste it here. And I will say, okay, let's see, there's a difference, which one more difference, which I wanted to show you here. Do you see this difference? I is small and I is capital. Now this makes a lot of difference. So the moment when you are typing capital one, this is like a very specific interest which people would have typed. So if you look at this one, this is by family share. I love my dog by family share, right? So what I'll do is I'll ignore this and I'll go and type back this the old one which we were looking at. No, sorry, this is not the one which we had already typed before. Yeah. Okay. Now, see what I'm looking for is, are those interests which is relevant to dogs or not? That's my first criteria. So the first criteria here is top 13. You love dogs. So mostly all these are around dogs again. Now let me show you this one. I love dogs. This is again a website which talks about I love dogs. Yeah. So this website is all about dogs, and then this one animal lovers. This again, if you look at it, people can think that animal lovers means dog is also part of animal, but then it is not a dog specific site. It's animal lovers, which is broader than dog. So I would ignore that also. So if you look at this one, so most of them, what I'm seeing, are around animals and less around dogs. So this I would ignore. But then this one really stood out for me. So I would go and I would take this as an example, and let's see if I can add it from here directly. I love dogs. And one important thing which thankfully I remembered now, that whenever you are doing a research here, put one interest at a time. Don't put multiple interests, because the moment when you put multiple interests, your data will get skewed here. Yeah. So now if I look at this one, see, I love dogs, nice dogs, pets, I love dog rescue, dog bless you, oh my God, I love dogs. So all these interests are around dogs. Secondly, what I'm looking at is there's a page also. Now, once you know that they have a page, the second important thing what you need to look at is this one, that is called as affinity. Now what does affinity mean here is how likely is your audience to like a given page compared to everyone on Facebook. That means the moment when you are sharing some content which is relevant to I love dogs, this that audience will is likely to like your content 17.9x times compared to everyone on Facebook. That is what it means. So this is one of the things which you should always keep in mind when you are doing a research. Now let me just quickly show you one of the research which I have done, just for for just to give you an example, an idea. So let me just go and show you one of the research document which I have been preparing it. Just give me a moment. I'll open that for you. Okay. So typically, this is what I would be doing my research, and this is the way I would be preparing everything. So I would take a note of this category here. So if you look at this one, this category, I'll be copying that category. I'll take the exact interest which I've typed here. I'll put the audience size. I'll take the audience from here, and then I'll put affinity also. So I'll take the affinity score from here below. So if you look at this one, see there are times where you'll find affinity like 1,000 times also. Right? You'll find affinity which is 500 times also. So higher the affinity, better is the prospect, the audience who can engage with your ads. So again, there's no ballpark figure because it is all subjective to the research what you are doing. But I would take up all the ones because that's what I'm really interested in, that I want higher numbers. But then when I start creating my ads, I segment my audience based on the affinity score and the audience size. So I'll talk about that in a bit as well, that what you should be doing it. But this is the step which you should all do always. Like if you look at this interest here, so what I would be doing is I'll be like segmenting all this based on the category. So let's say if I want to run an ad, I'll say let me target all the ads or target all the people who have shown the interest in magazines which are related to fitness. Or let me create an ad for all the websites which are around fitness. Or let me create an ad which is all around sporting goods or TV shows or organization. Or if there is somebody who's offering a product or a service which is around fitness. Or let me target people who have or target people who have shown the interest in bodybuilding coaching. So this way, I'll start creating my list of audience. Once I have done all this, then what I do is I go come back onto this site, which is called as Niche Miner, and I'll start doing more specific research now. So let's say I'll put one thing. Let's take the same example where I'll put say gym t-shirt or gym shirt, and I'll say Teespring because that's where like you'll find people selling. That's one of the platforms on which you can start selling your t-shirt designs. You do not need anything. You can start with Teespring directly. So now let's see what are they talking about. So here I see a 93 comments, this one. So again, what I am looking for is the site which has got more comments and shares. Okay, I think if I'm not able to find it, just give me a moment. I'll show you an example of what does it mean. I'll show you that also. I've taken a screenshot. I will pull that out for you. Yeah, you see this example. This is example of how people have been sharing it. So if you look at this numbers first, 1,385 shares. That's like a massive number. Then 338 comments, 6.6K share. Now, what I'm interested in is first, I want to understand that what has really made people get engaged with this particular ad. Now, if you look at this particular design, the way it is being shown. So if you look at like all I care about is sex and lifting, and the kind of like the emotions which are shown in the design. That is what I'm talking about. How are how the emotions are created by showing some design. So the focus is more on on the design and not on the entire product. So if you look at this one, then what I look for is how well they have written the ad copy. So if you look at this, the ad copy is quite straightforward. It says all I care is about sex and lifting. So they have not written word sex because that does not comply with Facebook policies, but they've written it as star X and lifting, and like maybe people and two more. So they've written the same quote here, and what they are talking about just release and only available for a limited time. So they're creating an urgency by writing a word limited time, and then they've written this the product here, like they given the product URL. So this is something which you should always see, like how competitors are promoting, what are they doing it, and exactly what is happening. And let me show you another example also for this thing in terms of what does it mean. So I'll just pull out another screenshot as well to give you an idea. Select this one. So if you see how many shares they have got, 29K, 4.1K comments, and 23K shares. Now that is like a huge number, huge number. So what are they talking about? Husbands, surprise your wife with this beautiful necklace and melt her heart. So what are the emotions they are getting triggered? So it's more like an emotional connect, and they're targeting on how this could be a gifting option for like that husband can give to the wife. And then they have given this options here, that is gold version and silver version. So people can go and buy. Now if you look at this numbers, I'm for sure, like looking at the engagement, this particular page owner or a advertiser will be paying very less amount because the engagement is very high. Now just imagine, like, with this kind of things, even if say 10% people would have bought it, how much money do you think he would have made? Huge numbers, right? And that is exactly what I'm talking about, like how you should be planning your ads. So there are three things which you should always look for. First, identify the advertiser who has got quite engaging content on his page. Second, once you find that, the second thing what you should be doing is go through the image. What kind of messaging is showing? How he has shown the images? What are the things he has highlighted? And what can you do different than him so that you can highlight your product more than him? Third is what kind of messaging he has put up, right? So that once you have this idea, this will really help you to craft your own ad copies in a better way. Now, fourth thing, which is very important, is also you should go and read the comments. Now, I know for sure that people have been asking me this, that, like reading a comment is a time consuming thing, right? Who has so much time? But believe me, if you spend this time, you'll have more money for you, because you can really understand what kind of comments people are putting, what kind of things people are asking. Are they happy? Are they sad? Or have they recommended something? Like, say, for example, in one of my campaigns, uh, like I had written a quote in which I had put up the word as put, and I got like 4 or 5 comments saying that instead of put, if you put pack, I'm ready to buy. And I changed that, and believe me, I got like 15-20 orders in just one day because of that small change. So you need to read and understand what people are talking about and how they are doing it, right? So is this clear to everyone, by the way? And any questions? So guys, if you can just give me a minute, I'll just go and grab a bottle of water for myself, and then we can start with Q&A, whatever you have. Like, we can speak on that. Just give me a second. I'll just go and grab a bottle of water for myself.
Yes, sure, Neeraj.
Yeah. All right, I'm back. Yeah. So what are the questions? Yeah, I'm back. So if hello.
Yeah, Nirav.
Yeah.
So the first question is like, what is the price range of the product do you recommend in for AliExpress to start with, and what is the margin I should keep?
Okay. Now, see, generally when you are starting out, look for the products which would cost you not more than $7, including e-packet shipping. Because generally, what would happen that if your store is new, people don't know your store, they won't be buying a high-end product from you. So $7 is your cost. I'm not talking about selling it at $7, but $7 should be the cost maximum which you should look for initially when you're starting. And the selling price for that, you can keep it anywhere between 90 to 100% margin also. So let's say if you're selling a $7 product, you can keep it at $15 plus you can charge them a shipping, or you keep $18 and can give shipping for free.
And how to means another question is how to check the cost of the product that competitor is charging.
See, like now that is very difficult in a way where you can to identify the competitors, but the best place to go is this kind of sites which I showed you. Etsy is one of the examples, where you can go and see what kind of pricing they are selling at. The second one is you can go on to Amazon and see what kind of pricing they are giving. And the third one is this is what you can do. Like this is what generally I do is I go on to Google, I type like site my shopify.com, say dog necklace. I'll get all the sites which are around dog necklace and all other sites which are on Shopify. Now let's say if I go here and then I can type here, let's say jewelry and gifts. Now see they are selling this necklace at $17. So these are the ways you can start identifying that how people are selling it. But then to know your exact competitor initially will be difficult, but then once you do this research, you'll get a fair amount of idea on the price range on what price you can sell. But the recommendation is that never sell at low margins, because one thing which you need to consider is your Facebook advertising cost also. So if you are selling at a low margin, you may end up losing money, and then you may say that I've lost money because I've not made anything. So considering that, you should also have your margins which covers up your Facebook cost also. So that's the reason why I told you that if you buy at $7 and if you're selling it at 17 to $18 is good enough, because if you're able to get your customer at $3 or $4, means if you are paying $4 to $5 or maximum $6 initially to acquire a customer, still you're making $7 to $8 on per sale. So does this make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I think so. It makes sense. Another question is like, can you show some attractive ad copies or means images for low CTR or higher CTR and lower CPC?
uh, See, like now that is what like, see, there's no example as such, because what you need to do is you need to keep on testing. Now see, these examples what I've shown you, this is one of the good examples for that. Like if you look at this one, 135 8K shares, and this one again, where it has got 4.1K and 23K shares. So you have to keep on testing and seeing that what will work. So there is no framework as such which will tell you that do this and it will work. You always have to keep on trying it. Testing is the only key to see what is working. But
Okay.
this is a good example for looking at the ad copies which is engaging.
So another question is how to manage shipping replacements and refunds.
Okay, now see, first of all, always, if you remember, I showed you an example where you should always select the vendor who is giving you an option of e-packet. Now, the reason why people have started sourcing product from AliExpress is for two reasons. First, definitely the product is at quite low price available. Second, there is a service called as e-packet. It's a shipping service in which you can ship your products in less than $1. So what these vendors would be doing, they'll be shipping it directly from their manufacturing unit to your customer, and generally it reaches out in 10 to 12 days. So that is the first thing what you can do. Like shipping is taken care by the vendor. The second thing about returns, generally I don't ask them to send the product back to me. I tell them that if you're not happy, just click the picture and send it to me. Because what would happen, like this vendors in the China, they are all willing to give you a replacement, but then what they would tell that first you send the product back to us, and then the product to them is again like quite expensive. Now just imagine that sending out a $5 product, if you have to spend $7 8 on shipping, it does not make sense to go and do that. Rather, I would say tell to my customers that, hey, you keep it, and then I will refund the money back to you. Now, this kind of cases do happen, but then that's the way you have to tackle it, and that's what I would be doing. I've been doing it so far.
Okay. Another question is like, how can the buyer track the products?
Now, see, there are two things. There are a couple of tracking apps available, which in Shopify. So those are the those are again the paid options. However, like when I started off initially, what I did was I used to tell them that, hey, since we have a because of the licensing and designing and manufacturing coordination, we would request you to send us an email on to know the status of your product, and within 24 hours, we'll respond back to you with your product status. So that's exactly what I've been doing it. Now I'm using some apps initially, but those are paid apps which will help you to track everything. So the moment when a person puts in their Shopify order number, they would get the details of their orders, where exactly it is. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you please tell all the apps that you are using inside Shopify?
Yes. These are the apps which I'm using right now. So the first one is Abandonment Protector. So this app really helps me, to send out an email to somebody who has typed in their email ID, but they have not completed the process, the checkout process. This app really helps me to go and send out an automated email to them. So what I'm doing, I send out 3 emails to them. So the first email goes out immediately after 15 minutes once uh, they've closed my site without purchasing. The second email goes after 10 hours. 10 hours. The last email goes after 24 hours after they've closed it. The second one which I'm using is Conversio. So this is like a previously it was called as Receptful. So what happens when somebody is purchasing the product? So immediately, rather than taking them to the thank you page, I'm taking them to the receipt page, wherein immediately I'm showing them a coupon code that, hey, here is your coupon code which is valid for next 7 days, which you can come back and buy again. And then at the bottom, when they scroll down, they get an option of downloading their own receipt of what the product they've buying. The third app, which I now I'm not using it, but still it is there on my store, which is called as Oberlo. This was the app which I was using it for fulfillment of products. So when some order comes in using Oberlo, I used to give that information to my vendor, and then they used to fulfill that. But now I'm using Shopify app, which is very good for me because that makes my task a lot easier. So I'm using the paid version of Shopify app. Then I'm using another one which is called as Size Matters. Now this is for the sizing option, sizing chart. Like a lot of my products, which require where I'm selling clothes, I do give them a sizing chart. So this is a free app which I'm using it. Then I use T-Launch. It's a t-shirt fulfillment company based in the US. For a t-shirt thing, I'm using that. And the last one which I'm using right now here is called as Trackify. So basically, this really helps me to optimize my Facebook pixel, customize my audience, and scale up my Facebook campaign. So these are the tools which I'm using at this point.
Okay, another question is like, see, buyer is buying from US and we are
Yeah.
placing orders from another portal. So how will we able to provide him the tracking info?
So the moment when you place an order, all these vendors will send you a tracking ID after 4 or 5 days. So you can send that tracking ID to your customers.
How much product should be there in website before we start promoting it?
I mean, at least 20 to 25 products you should have.
Okay, and now for getting a PayPal means what kind of document we have to follow?
For
So
what?
that for getting a means what in PayPal, what kind of documents we have to send so that they don't limit the account.
Now, see, the thing is, now limiting the account will be a frequent thing happening. Like, in fact, last week even my account got limited for this reason. So there is no initially no document required, but if there is an issue like this, PayPal will ask you for a lot of information in terms of how are you getting it, what are you selling it. So it's okay to go and tell that you are doing a drop shipping. They would understand that, and you can provide all the documents to them whenever they ask. So, but upfront there is nothing required. Now, this kind of issue comes up when the moment when you start hitting like 3,000, 4,000, $5,000 revenue, then it starts creating a problem. But initially, it does not create a problem. So in fact, what I'm doing now, I've just opened up a company in the US and I'm moving everything out from PayPal into Stripe. Now again, there are issues with Stripe also, but then I just want to try it and see whether Stripe is better than PayPal or not.
So means you sold some ad copy, right, regarding that gyms, fitness and sex one. It has around 20% more than 20% tax. So how can a ad be run on that kind of thing?
Now 20% rule is no more active, first of all. However, Facebook still gives you what they will tell you that there is a lot of text on this one. So they end up charging a little bit more. That's what they tell you. However, when you go and speak with the representative, you explain that this is a t-shirt design, then there is no issue. But however, you can run a ad. Now the 20% rule is no more active.
Then another question is how to add products inside Shopify.
Now, honestly, say like it's quite easy to do, and there are a lot of videos available on YouTube, right? So if you are putting it manually, then there are videos available there. But if you are using some app like Oberlo or Shopify app for AliExpress, what I'm talking about is exclusively AliExpress. Once you link your store with AliExpress, you can easily import product from there. You don't have to do anything manually. That is the
So
first thing.
yeah, he's asking that won't the user will be notified that you have linked the product with the AliExpress?
Who means who wouldn't be notified? I don't. Who is the user?
Users, users.
Which users?
It is not mentioned which user, but he has written the user.
Oh, no. First of all, the end user will never know that. Secondly, once you have imported the product, still you need to do a little bit of work like changing the description and writing it by your own, changing it little bit. But that's not a big task. So just going and changing a description is going to take hardly like 10 minutes. So that much is I would recommend doing it. Just don't copy it as it is, right? So that's one thing which I would suggest everyone.
Okay. Another question is what is the alternative of Shopify tracking?
Sorry.
You are using Shopify tracking app, right? So what is the alternative of that?
For tracking in Shopify,
Yeah.
no, I would highly recommend only Trackify at this point because without that also you can still do. But what difference I have seen is when I was not tracking it properly, my conversion rates were around 2 to 4%. Now, when after tracking it and if I'm after customizing it, my conversion rates have gone to nearly about 5 to 6%, and I'm able to scale up my campaigns faster. So you can do it directly without Facebook, without this app also. So what you need to do is just need to take up a Facebook conversion code, put it on the thank you page, and you can start running your ads. But then there are a lot of options like creating your custom conversions, creating your custom audience. That becomes like really little bit difficult, especially if you want to do it based on the category, based on a specific product. If you want to do that, it is little bit challenging.
Okay. So for if one question is asking that will you mention that that product is coming from China or you will tell that this product is coming from some other country like that?
I don't say anything.
Another question is like what we can do for placing multiple pixel inside a single store.
Multiple pixels for what purpose?
Means for single store means is just asking that what do you use or no for multiple pixel to be installed on a single store.
But the question is, why would you install? That's the thing, So one thing, like if I've correct me if I'm wrong, that for if you want to put your pixels for different channels, like if it is AdWords or Facebook or something, you can still put that. But if you are putting multiple Facebook pixels from different ID, I won't recommend doing that.
What is the app for drop shipping order management?
Drop shipping,
Order management.
I told you, like Oberlo and Shopify app. So
And this app take care of means sharing to vendor also these details, order
see,
details.
you can automate that. However, I won't recommend doing it automated. It's because it's always better that you verify and then send it to the vendor. But you can automate that, like it can directly send it to the vendors, but I won't recommend doing it because what would happen the moment when it goes automatic, you have to link your credit card with your PayPal and your PayPal with your AliExpress. So in automating it, what would happen that automatically the money will get deducted. So just to avoid that confusion, it's better that you first check it and then manually go and process it through that app. So you don't have to send details to that vendor manually, but you can through app, you can click and say that now process this order. It will take care of that.
Okay. Another thing is like, should we use credit card to pay from PayPal?
Absolutely, I would recommend doing that. But if you don't have credit card, still you can do it with debit card also.
But will it affect income tax returns?
Absolutely, yeah. But this all income is taxable, by the way. So it does not matter whether you're paying through credit card or debit card. The money has the money is taxable.
Okay. Another question is, you have said Stripe, right? So they are asking Stripe or Stripe Atlas.
Stripe Atlas, that's the one. Yes.
Uh, Another question is limitation on 3K or 4K per day or 3K per month.
See it all depends on PayPal now. But the moment when your account starts hitting 4K, 5K, it could be daily, it could be weekly also. Then they start raising the concerns on your account to see that what is happening.
Okay. Another question is, uh, can you please tell me about rolling reserve policy? Which payment company applies? I am surely must be unaware of this term.
Which one?
Rolling reserve policies.
Now, what does it mean? If you can just give me an example for that,
I
so
have,
that.
as she is asking, rolling reserve policy. Which payment company applies?
But rolling reserve company means what? If you can, if he or
Reserve
she can
policy.
explain.
Okay, I will check it later.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you registering company in US and getting bank account in US? Is that Stripe Atlas or what?
Yeah, I'm doing it to Stripe Atlas. Stripe Atlas will charge $500 for doing all these things, and they'll register the company. They'll open an account in Silicon Valley Bank, and they'll give it to you.
There is no more question. Only this rolling reserve policy is.
Yeah. So I'm assuming here, and I'm giving an answer for that. But then, if in meantime, if the person who has asked if they come back, that's okay. But what I'm assuming that uh, what they would be asking is how much money would be put into reserve during this process of this thing, because most of them, what they do, they'll put certain money on the reserves. Like say, for example, if you talk about PayPal, right? If you see, like if your accounts are going hitting like a more revenue, and if they find that there's a potential risk, they put 20 to 30% of your revenue onto reserve for 60 days and 90 days, and in certain cases it is 30 days also. So if that 30% goes on to reserve, 90% goes on to reserve, then that's a potential threat, because what would happen, like after deducting all your cost, you may get margins of 20 to 30%. So technically, though that money is going to come to you, but after 30, 60 or 90 days. So in order to avoid all these things, you can go and speak with. I'm not sure because I'm still exploring that, but Razor Pay is one of the good options which I've been recommended by somebody. So I'm going to talk with Razor Pay. Plus, there are a lot of merchant accounts, which are available in the US. Now, the only drawback is that this merchant accounts, if you want to open that, the upfront they ask you for $5,000 or $10,000 commitment, and then they give you an account with no reserve policies.
Okay.
So, is this a question which was asked? Was that same thing, or was it different? If you can just ask the
Yeah,
question.
he's saying that companies hold your payment for 90 days with 25% means commission like that.
Yeah, yeah. So that is what PayPal pay all these payment processors do. Even as a matter of fact, even Stripe does that thing because if they get a lot of chargebacks, now see they do not have an issue with a drop shipping model. They are completely friendly with the drop shipping model. When I say they, I'm talking about Stripe as well as PayPal. But the only concern they have is the chargebacks. Because the moment when they get more chargebacks, they start feeling that there is something which is fishy here. And that's where they start putting the reserve. That's it.
Okay. So, some person is asking like, what specific things do you tell the vendor so that your drop shipping thing is not revealed to the end customer?
Yeah. So I tell that customer has already paid the money, and you do not have to send him anything. Just send the product.
For another question is for newbies, what kind of product will you recommend, which are best converting?
Okay. Now, if it's a newbie question, let me give you an honest answer to everyone. See, this market is already filled up today. It's already crowded. So if I give you a product which is converting, believe me, you won't be able to make money. And I'm giving you my honest reply because if it is converting, there are already big players who are doing it. Rather, what you do is I showed you that exact process. Go through niche miner, go through Facebook, and search for the interest which are really standing out for you, and look for something which is unique, which nobody is doing it. Believe me, only then you can start seeing some traction. But if you're selling something which is already being sold by people, you will not make money. And I'm very honest with everyone here.
So your suggestion will be picking a unique product every time.
Exactly. A unique product, a variation of the product. Now, when I say unique product, let's say, for example, I saw a t-shirt with some quote. And then what I'll do is I'll look for like, is there a mug with that same design or quote? If not, I'll pick up that design. I'll go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, get it tweaked, get it changed a little bit, and put that as a mug design. So it still becomes a unique one because there is nothing on mug available.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question is how many dollar to test in Facebook ads
Now I
daily?
was expecting this question, honestly. Right? See, when you are starting out initially, like say, I'll give you my approach, what I was doing it, and then I'll give you my understanding, and I'll give you an exact thing what you should be doing it. Now, initially, when I started off, I was spending $5 a day just to see what is working. Now, the question is, when you are spending that $5, what are you testing for? Generally, what I have seen that people test for that sale aa raha hai ki nahi, whether I'm getting a sale. Believe me, that is a wrong test to do. See, like in that $5, what is happening? Are people clicking? If people are clicking, are they adding product to cart? If people are adding product to cart, are they buying? Now, if they are not doing these steps, then what is happening? So, scenario one, where you get a lot of impressions, but very few people are clicking. That means they're not interested in the product, or your ad copy is really bad. Second scenario, where you are getting a lot of clicks, but they're not adding a product to the cart. That means your pricing is an issue or the offer is not attractive enough for them. Third scenario, where they're adding a product to cart, but they're not buying it. There are two possibilities. First, they don't trust the website. So you need to add more trust elements like site is secured, payment is secured, stuff like that. Second is the price wise, they're still dicey whether this is the right price for them. So this is the research you need to do, and this is the test which you should do. For which I think $5 is a good numbers to start. But if you're doing a test for the purchase, don't do that because that is not going to work initially. Once you have all this information, then what you need to do is, after making the tweaks, whatever is required, what you can do is look for the product which you're going to promote, see how much margins are you making. So let's say, for example, you are selling a product in $19, but you are making, say, $10 as a margin. So I would go up to $30 to go and spend and see what is happening. So if I don't make any sale or anything in $30, I'll kill that campaign. Or I'll kill that ad set, or I kill the product. I'll say I'm not going to sell this. Does this make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Another question is, do I need multiple accounts to handle PayPal payments for both the process buying and getting payments?
One PayPal account is enough. You don't need a multiple one. And I would recommend that you keep the same one from an accounting perspective, because believe me, this year I've been facing a big challenge. Fortunately, now I am using only one PayPal, so it becomes easy for me to pull out all the reports. And I would recommend do that only. Don't keep two different PayPal accounts.
Okay. Another thing, question is like, how can we scale up?
Okay. Now, first of all, what you need to do is first identify your winning product. When I say winning product, it does not only mean that more number of sales, but if you are getting some sales, decent sales, if you know your ad copy, which ad copy is working well, if you know your image which is working well, after that start creating a different campaign or ad set for that particular product and start allocating more budget to that.
Okay. Another question is, why we should go for Shopify and not WooCommerce? Is WooCommerce having similar features?
Honestly, see, I've used WooCommerce in the past, but then what I found that Shopify is a little bit more easier to manage, because any technical support if I need, that is not my headache. That is what Shopify takes care. Plus, easy management, is what I'm looking for. Like, say, in my case, I add product by myself. I do not know coding. I have zero knowledge on coding. But even then, I can go and like do a little bit of customization even in Shopify. And moreover, it is quite flexible, and there are a lot of other apps which comes up, which really assist you to scale up. So that's why I go with Shopify. However, if you are expert in WooCommerce or Magento, you can still use it, no problem on that.
Another question is, what documents are required for Stripe Atlas?
For Stripe, they would ask you for the address proof. So you need to give your address proof. Then they'll ask you for photo identity. Plus, they'll ask you for the passport copy. So these are the three documents which you will have to submit. Once you submit that, they'll send you a list of documents which you need to sign it and give it back to them. And after that, they'll start processing and open your account and everything.
What is your company structure you are going with Stripe Atlas? Is it parent company or itself, or is parent company is in India and Stripe Atlas company is child of it?
No, I have kept it a separate identity. I have not merged two of them. I've kept both separate. So my Indian company is an outsourcing partner to my US company.
Okay, means that WooCommerce question I have asked, because person is asking, is not asking for substitute for model, but is asking for substitute apps that are available in Shopify.
Honestly, I have no idea on this WooCommerce, because at this point I'm only using Shopify because of this flexibility part. So which specific apps are you talking about? If you can give me an example, then I may give you an idea like what is that. But honestly, WooCommerce, it's been like I think more than 2 years that I've never used WooCommerce now. So that's my honest feedback to everyone. So if there's something latest which is there in WooCommerce, I won't have an idea on that.
Okay, another question is, what you uses other than the PayPal as the payment gateway?
See, as on now, for India, this PayPal is the only one which I have used, and now I'm getting over into Stripe. So these are the two things I've been I've used. Unfortunately, there's nothing other I think available. I've heard from people that they were telling about two checkout and everything, but I'm not tried that. So you can try out two checkout also if you want. But PayPal is by far the ones which I've used so far.
How much investment is needed initially to start with Shopify?
See, when we talk about Shopify, including all these apps, what I've shown you, now the basic Shopify subscription will cost you uh, $29 per month, and including all these apps, what I've shown you, it can go up to 70 to $80 per month, including all the apps. So that's an investment required for starting a Shopify store. Plus, the advertising cost and everything also is a different one.
What is the payment method you use for Facebook ad?
For Facebook, I'm using credit card and debit card, both of them.
For pay, do you use PayPal or credit card to buy on AliExpress?
I do it through PayPal only because the moment when you're making payment from PayPal, there's a security there in terms of if you are not getting a product the way you want it, you can still raise a dispute and do that. So through AliExpress, you can link it through PayPal also. And also there's an option of Alipay, which I've just started using it now. So even that is a quite secured option, Alipay. So in Alipay, I map my credit card and it takes care of that.
Okay. Another question is, what relation do you make with the vendor? Do you approach them as a reseller or as a normal buyer?
No, you have to be honest with your vendors, saying that hey, I'm buying it for my customers, and that's an important thing. Like in fact, that's the thing which all of you should be doing is like start building a relationship with your vendors, right? So initially, if you go and ask for the discounts without ordering, he will not entertain you. Give him some good decent order, like say 50, 100 PCs. Once you get that much orders, then you start building a relationship and ask him for the discount, and he'll give you discount happily. But then you can tell them that you are the ones who are running your own store, so it's okay to tell that.
What is the purpose code to be entered in PayPal?
What?
Purpose code to be entered in PayPal. It is more of PayPal session, I think.
Okay, now honestly, what I have done, I have linked my PayPal with my Shopify. So you log into once you log into your Shopify, and on the payment you have a express checkout. The moment when you do that, it will automatically take care of it via API. So there's no purpose code I've entered, honestly.
Can we buy a USA PayPal account?
Sorry,
We start working on that.
sorry. What was the
Can we
question?
buy a USA PayPal account and then start working on that?
See, that's something which is I would add a red flag to that initially, because for two things, right? First of all, when you're buying a US PayPal account, even like they're a little bit stringent, and if something goes wrong, like say for example, even if you are doing it through VPN, you can access that and everything, but then still that's a risk, because the moment when your amount crosses above $5,000 $7,000, they'll still raise the thing. So it does not matter with a US account or an India account.
Okay. Another question, how much investment do you recommend for the noobs?
Sorry,
How much investment you will recommend for the noobs who are starting?
how much investment required for?
Noobs means who are newbies.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Like your voice is
For
breaking in
newbies,
between.
how much investment is required?
For starting a store,
Yeah.
so I told you about Shopify, that is around 70 to $80 per month. And for advertising, it depends on like what product you are selling, what margin you are having. But then it's a good point to start at $5 per day initially.
So how much
Okay, guys.
investment should be planned? Means like $500, $30 per month, right?
So ideally, like I would say, $300 to $400 is a good money, apart from your $80. So including if you take $80, so it should be 400 to $500.
Guys, this is Om here. Am I audible now?
Yeah, Om, you are audible now.
Yeah,
Awesome. After a while. So sorry, I was on having some issue with the mic. So I have a few things for Nirav as well.
yeah.
So a lot of the people seem to be asking, right, this company structure and how to do stuff. So I think we have a mix of crowd here who are already selling on Shopify and looking to get answers to such questions, and then there are people who have no idea about dropshipping today. So even I had a couple of questions, quick questions from my side. If I am starting new today to start a new Shopify or WooCommerce, any store on dropshipping model,
Mm-hmm.
what would be a good starting point to actually be profitable? $5 is definitely a very, very conservative number.
Yeah.
But then let's say I have about 50,000 rupees to test.
Okay.
What should be a good starting point?
See, the first thing, in order to be successful here, what you need is a good product, and you need to know your audience first. So,
Right.
I showed you about like how you can do the product research and come up with some ideas, right? And so one product is not enough again to test. So at least you should have 4 to 5 different types of products which you can test. And once you start running a test, you need to know like your numbers very well, how much money are you going to make. So
Right.
once you have all these things, then putting a money on ads would be a good thing. And after getting some data, right, is only a point where you come to know whether it'll be profitable or not. Now, just to give you an idea, I've just started a new store yesterday, and I've run an ad, and so far I've spent 7,000 rupees, and there's no sale. Now,
Okay.
what does that mean? Is am I testing for sale? Absolutely not. What I was testing for is what kind of messaging is going to work, what kind of ads are going to work, whether my products are expensive, whether my products are too cheap, what's happening. Now, within this 1 day of data, I've got enough idea, and I've realized that the thing which is not in my favor at this point is the product image. The image what I've been using is not giving me enough clicks. So those kind of tests is what you need to do initially. So when I told $5, that was a conservative numbers for testing. $5 will never fetch you $500.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is another guy who's asking, why don't you invest like 10 to 20,000 dollars to build your own e-commerce store, and then that could become a long-term investment. So what do you have for that?
See, it's a good question. Where when you say $10 to $20,000 on building an e-commerce store, that's a good idea. But then the question is, are you sure whether the products which you're going to sell will work? If not, then your $20,000 is stuck. So I would always say do it other way around. First, identify the products, identify your audience, see what is profitable, and once you know all these things, then make an investment in building your own e-commerce store with all the features what are there on Shopify. Because then that is going to be an investment for sure, which will come back to you.
Okay, that's a very fair suggestion. And I see a lot of people still asking, like, what is the purpose code that you're using in PayPal?
Honestly, I'll have to go and check. I just go and like when I use Shopify, there's an express checkout option. The moment when you go and fill that up, the API, the Shopify and PayPal API takes care of it automatically. So express checkout has that special code. I don't know what it is, but then I've never put the purpose code there.
Okay, as far as I remember, I used to randomly put freelance, sometimes IT consulting, sometimes random
No, but
things.
that is when you're requesting for the money. That time you have to definitely give that code. But here, this is automatic. The payment goes to your PayPal automatic. So for that, this is an option of express checkout.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have another guy saying, if you could ask Nirav to explain more about the Facebook PPE.
Okay. So what specifically about PPE you want to know?
Hasn't mentioned much.
Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll give you my perception, and in case if that is not in sync with what he wants, he can again ask me. That's okay for that.
Okay.
Now, when you are running a PPE ad,
Mhm.
that's called as page post engagement, right? Now I've seen a lot of people they run PPE ad for driving sales. Believe me, that is not the right approach. But what you should be doing when you are running a PPE ad, you should always keep that objective what people have, that PP ads are cheapest of all. So उस पे ad चलाओ और click आ गया, conversion आ गया, सस्ते में हो जाएगा काम. But that never happens. So when you run a PPE ad, you run that PPE ad to test the audience and your product. So let's say you have like four, five a bucket of audience ad, people who have liked some magazine, people who have liked the celebrity, or people who are following certain website. You want to test that bucket of audience, then run PP ad and see which one is responding to your ads. Similarly, when you're testing out say two or three different products to the same set of audience, run that PP ad for 24 hours with $5 budget and see which one is working well. How many people are responding? How many clicks are you getting? Are you getting any conversions? If yes, move those ads to website conversion ads.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have Shri Tej, he's asking, like, do you have multiple vendors? Let's say if you have 30 products on your Shopify store, do you have one vendor or you have multiple? If so, how many?
I have multiple vendors. In fact, for even for one product, I have three vendors.
Right.
And in total, I think I'm at this point. I have like around nine to 12 vendors with whom I'm working.
Okay. And another guy asking, posting this in shopping groups, does it help?
Never. Shopping
But
group, never do that because that's not your targeted audience.
moreover, from my side, 2 cents, I would say I would really not want to expose my products in a stupid group and invite
Absolutely. Absolutely.
competition.
Because there you find a lot of people spying also
Right, right.
and avoid doing it.
Okay. And Keshav says, any idea about Indian market?
Okay. Now I'll give you my perception because I've worked with a couple of e-commerce companies even in India, right? And most of them even today after this like demonetization, they still prefer COD. And the latest update what I have got from my customers, again this is my customers data, it's not a universal data I'm giving you, that
Right.
initially before this demonetization 90% and above orders were coming as a COD. Now around 70 to 80% is still COD. So there's a marginal drop in the COD orders which people are putting. Now the challenge is that when you do a COD, you have to, you need to have a reputed delivery company like DHL, Blue Dart, or somebody like who can really take care of your money. But then if you go with the local companies, there is a threat of losing money. Now, when you go with the big companies, the problem is that their shipping charges are also comparatively high, which eventually is going to impact your profit. So if you are able to manage that thing very well, if you want to go behind numbers, I think you can start with Indian market. But if you want to avoid that part, then go global. That's what I would suggest everyone.
Right, and 2 cents from my side, even in Indian market, the tax goof up is a big pain, right? So you have to charge 15% service tax, then
Correct.
declare the stuff. And if you are dealing with goods, you have VAT on your head,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And probably I would not get into that, and probably I would not call it drop shipping at the first place.
Yeah. In India, there's nothing called as drop shipping, honestly, because the vendors with whom you are dealing, you have to buy that in bulk also. There's nobody who's doing a drop shipping like this, what you see here. There are very few I know, but then there's a potential threat, where they can take away your customers also, especially in India.
Right, right. And there's another guy who's asking, which ad do you recommend apart from PPE?
Website conversion ads, and also at times I do website clicks ad. Third, I
Okay.
do video ads. I do dynamic remarketing. That is a product catalog ads.
Okay. So for remarketing, are you using anything external like Criteo or
No, I use Trackify,
just
which I told about. That Trackify takes care of that thing easily.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's one guy, Alex, who has been repeatedly asking, what can you recommend some banks whose cards are accepted on Facebook? I would probably say, Alex, you can use HDFC, ICICI, Citibank, HSBC, anything in the world, it works, right?
Yes. Yes.
I haven't seen any bank which does not work on Facebook in my
Yeah.
life, at least.
Even debit card do work.
Right. I'm not sure what problem he's exactly facing.
Yeah.
One question we have missed, Nirav, how can we target Facebook group audience?
Facebook.
groups audience? Means suppose some group is there for dog lovers or something. How can we target those dog lovers group and all?
You cannot, it's a little bit difficult to target those group as such. But then once you know, like, you can go a little bit broad. Like, say somebody who say I love dogs, you can do that. But you cannot target groups directly through ads. There is no functionality as on now.
Okay. Any extra tools you use for Shopify means apart from all those you have shown, like any paid tools or anything to filter out interest and all?
No, I don't use any other tools. I know for sure there are a lot of tools available in the market, but honestly, the biggest tool which I saw is more useful is my own brain, because the moment when I sit and think, I can do better work than the tools. So that's what my recommendation is to everyone, and I'll be honest with all of you here.
I think that's it for today. There are
Okay.
no much questions left.
Yep, it's 1:15, and thank you so much, guys. I was there almost from 2 minutes of beginning of the webinar, but then I was on mute. So sorry about not being able to participate. And thanks so much, Nirav, for your time.
Thank you, Om, and I hope like people. My final words to all of you guys: please take action. Right? Don't be on fence, please, and take action. And if you're taking action, if you're stuck somewhere, just contact me. I'll be more than happy to help you all.
Guys, if any other questions you have just asked in the group, we'll be happy to answer all the questions.
Right.
Okay.
There is one last question. How do you find cup painting and t-shirt painting vendors?
So if you are selling in the US, there are a lot of them. So like one example which I gave you was T Launch. Then you have Printful. So if you go through the recording and the first recording where I shared the screen and the presentation, in that we have mentioned a lot of them. So you can start working with those guys. Now you can search for print on demand vendors in the US or any other place. But as on now in India, there are very few I know.
Right. Yes.
Okay, home. Let's close it for today. It's already 1:15.
Yes, it's 1:15, and we have done almost like 2 hour marathon. So thank you so much, guys, and we will be back soon with another exciting webinar on PBNs and expired domains very soon. It's gonna be most probably on Saturday night, 11 or 11:30 p.m. as usual, but then I'll confirm it formally tomorrow.
And guys, please share your feedback, whatever you have learned today. It will be very helpful for us in serving us.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
take actions like Nirav said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.